Well, Monday has come and gone. Did get this out on a Tuesday, but there's plenty to talk about still. We're going to get started here. We're going to do a little Talkin' Titans.
Why so gloom? It's a victory.
Man,
pod.
you know, I mean,
The Titans win.
Normally you would think I would be excited or happy about getting a victory, particularly since victories this season are just going to be so difficult to come by.
And guess what? I don't have to take my heart out of my chest. You don't have to paint your chest. I told you they're not going 0-18.
Yeah, well, dadgum, man. All I know is Monday night was two really, really bad teams playing each other, and they may not allow the Titans to play on Monday night forever now because of how awful that was. It was awful. It was hard to watch. It really was.
Look, Jaguar fan here.
Full disclosure, Jaguar fan.
Before we just here we go. Let me give you the updated standings in the AFC South. Houston Texans are 3-1. The Indianapolis Colts are 2-2. The Tennessee Titans are in third at 1-3. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are the only winless team in the NFL at 0-4. And there's some heat coming out of Duval.
Yeah, there is. I can't believe how it's amazing how quickly they turn on you, isn't it? I mean, Jacksonville's been through its share of coaches, but I think they have a pretty good coach. So I don't know. There's a lot of really negative press out there right now about how people are saying that Doug Peterson has done Trevor Lawrence a disservice and hasn't developed him and all this other stuff. And
that's all right. We'll see what happens.
We'll get into that.
Not a Jaguar podcast. Yeah. We talking Titans.
We'll get into that in just a second. Let's.
But you wanted to hear about their performance. Hey, is it okay if I take everyone down memory lane and their first drive?
Oh,
if you don't mind.
Christ. You had to bring that up.
Here we go. First drive. Well, I mean, your starting quarterback was in for only a drive or two.
Quarterback.
We'll talk about it.
Everybody knows exactly what I think about this.
We'll talk about quarterbacks in a minute. All right, here we go. First drive. 1st and 10 from the Tennessee 28. Guess what we have? Dead ball penalty.
And he started yet.
False start. J.C. Latham.
Jesus Christ. Hey, you know what, though? He's built up some goodwill. Built up. We got to keep
J.C. pancake somebody's ass later in the game. But there's nothing happening here. Just line up. But could it be Will Levis? The lack of communication, not telling his lineman what he's doing.
Yep.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Then we got Levis, a little short pass to Boyd. We got Pollard up the middle for 3. We got the pass interference. Okay, all right. So we get a new set of downs. We go Pollard left in for -2. Uh-oh. Another dead ball penalty.
Jesus.
False start on Peter Skoronski. What's been his deal this year?
I don't know. You know, I mean, we kind of jumped at him in the draft and thought that we got really lucky whenever we got him, and man, he's kind of laying a big fat egg. Now he can still get better, I'm sure, but I mean, dadgum. Right now we got to get out of our own way and quit making mental errors.
It's not a good look.
No,
there's nothing happening. You should know what the play is. Now if there's a lack of communication, or if Will Levis is ad-libbing and doing the wrong cadence, then that's not on the offensive line. We'll see. Then we've got what do we got? 16-yard. This was his best pass of the night. A frozen rope, a strike to DeAndre Hopkins for 16 yards. He sat down right in the honey hole. In the zone, we have Will Levis sneaking it for the first down on 3rd down. Pollard up the middle for 1 yard, and then disaster strikes.
Jesus.
How do you take a drop? 3-step drop. Is he not looking? Surely he's looking at something, and throws it right into the fucking ball sack of a 300-pound defensive lineman.
And you could clearly see what he was saying.
Crap.
When he came off the field, he said, "I never saw him."
Yeah, right.
Guys, this guy is as wide as this fucking table here, and you're telling me you didn't see him?
Oh boy.
I mean, then we're playing with a handicapped quarterback because he's fucking blind.
I mean, he hit him so hard that he caught it with his thighs. I'm not sure if he ever had his hands on it. I've never seen such.
Nine turnovers then. Leading the NFL, 9 turnovers at that point. I mean,
And that was your first drive. Brought
Just
to you
totally
by
shit
Dudes
the bed.
Discussing Sports.
totally shit the bed. First drive. Levis is a bum. Let's just get that straight. He's a bum. Get out of here with that shit.
Levis finished his day 3 of 4, 25 yards and a pick.
Yes, he did.
And then he hurts himself lunging he's trying to get a first down, but he was even short of that.
Unnecessarily.
It's so silly.
Unnecessarily doing it. I mean, here we go with the hero ball shit again. I don't know. At some point, you have to start making mature decisions, and he just has a problem with that. He has a problem with that. He ends up having to come out of the game. Next drive, he can't go, right? They show up, they pan over to Mason Rudolph, and they're asking if he's going in, and you can see the words coming out of his mouth. I don't know. He's just sitting there. He's just sitting there. I mean, look, he's not the most talented guy in the world, but he is a professional quarterback. He's a professional backup. He can come in at any point, and he can manage a game.
He'll line it up, right?
Right. He'll line it up. He won't do anything too flashy. He'll manage the game. He'll get the ball in the hands of the playmakers. And that's what they ended up having to do. They put Mason Rudolph in. All of a sudden, there's a little bit of rhythm going. Now, it's not great, right? But we get the run game going.
That is the key.
Right? We get Tony Pollard. We get Tajay Spears going.
Pollard is your offensive MVP of the night.
Yeah, 100% he is. I think we see the identity still here has to be we have to run first.
Run first and play better defense.
We have to make them respect the run and then maybe flick one over the top of them when we can, particularly if Mason Rudolph is going to be the guy going forward, which at this point, I mean, I wish I had a picture. Maybe I'll find a picture and I'll overlay it here. But the picture or the video of whenever the camera is panning on to Mason Rudolph and Will Levis on the bench after a series, and Levis is just sitting there. Whenever he realizes the camera's on him, we get this.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's like we get this just big cringe, like, oh God, like he just got stabbed by a fucking knife. Got stabbed by Excalibur through the heart or something. I mean, and dude, I mean, get out of here with this shit. I mean, dadgum, every time the camera's on him, he's just trying to be hero ball. Now it's all woe is me. I got hurt.
Well,
I got hurt.
they get an off week.
As soon as he made that little diving play, he came off the field saying, I hurt my shoulder or something.
It was the air conditioning joint.
The AC joint, which is a real thing. I get
Who
it.
made him a doctor? Dr. Will.
But the thing is like, look, obviously he's not ready for this. He's not. Okay. I'm not saying Mason Rudolph gives us a better chance to win because I don't believe that. But the fact of the matter is Will Levis continues week after week to make stupid decisions. Stupid decisions. I don't know how many times I can say it. And until he proves otherwise, I mean, I think his time should be limited in the game. And that's just my personal opinion. A lot of you out there in Titan land probably have a different opinion, but guys, we can't lead the league in turnovers and interceptions and expect to ever win a game. I mean, look.
You almost got another punt blocked.
We have other
close.
problems for sure.
And then there was a question about, were you supposed to fair catch a free kick? There was all kinds of confusion on special teams.
It was a little bit embarrassing there.
It seemed like only the players knew the rules because your special teams coach was throwing crap all over the sidelines, acting like something bad just happened. But all the players were like, there's nothing wrong here, coach.
Right.
And the players were right.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a bad look. So I don't know. Right now, the Titans, is there a quarterback controversy? Is there not? I don't think there's a controversy at all because I think right now you just ride with Rudolph until until look,
okay. Man. So then we got a controversy because I disagree. I think it's Will Levis.
That's hey. I would love for it to be Will Levis, but Will Levis can't make good enough decisions to stay on the field, in my opinion. I'm not saying he should never play. I'm saying he needs to be limited in his time. Unfortunately, we're going to have to treat him like he's a little fucking high school kid. And we're going to put him in. Dude, whatever. It's a meritocracy is what it is. If you fucking suck, you don't get to play. Period. And I mean, right now, he fucking sucks. He's got a really flashy arm, and I feel like he really does want to do well. But look at Jaden Daniels. Look at him. You know,
The Rook?
Yes, the rookie. You know, look at he doesn't try to do too much, right? He just takes what he can get. Dink, dunk. If I can run, I'll run. Now, look,
he's
Jaden
completing
Daniels
82% of his passes on the year.
Exactly. Just
On
take the
pace.
check down. Take the check down. You got a lot of really good playmakers around you. All you got to do is get the ball to them.
And if you take the check down too often, guess what's going to happen?
Bing!
Right over the top.
Yep.
To
Just
scary
pop.
Terry McLaurin. Yeah.
I mean, dadgum. I mean, just two dudes discussing sports here.
That's what we are.
I mean, that's what we see from the outside looking in. But I'm interested to hear what your opinion is on this non-controversy.
Oh, so I'm still in the camp of you gotta see what Will Levis is. I know you already think you know what it is.
How much more do we have to fucking see? Do we need to see 15 interceptions?
What we don't need to do is we don't need to see Mason Rudolph because he's not the long-term answer.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think that either quarterback's leading you to the playoffs this year, so it's just a waste, I think, if you play Mason Rudolph.
What I'm hearing is it's a waste either way.
Let Will Levis just run it into the ground then, and like some of our listeners have said, just let him get a better draft pick. Play the disaster in Will Levis.
I mean, I can see that. There's a world where that makes sense to me. But I mean, I don't think either one of these guys are the long term. But there's a difference though. Is when Mason Rudolph came in, it looked like a pro offense. It didn't look like a fucking high school quarterback out there gunslinging.
Well, the good thing is that their defense allowed them to play with the lead.
Yeah.
Devondre Sweat.
Yeah.
Sebastian Joseph Day. I mean, these big dudes were dominating.
Right.
You know who they were dominating? Center for the Miami Dolphins, little guy Aaron Brewer. They were throwing him around the yard, and I'm glad the Titans grew up and got a real center this year.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, look, right now we don't have a recipe for very many wins.
But if you can play with the lead, just like we saw, play with the lead, you get to play bully
that's
ball.
what's so frustrating about our quarterback, man. Is look, he didn't have to do much.
Doesn't have to.
We have running backs that can do things for you. We have wide receivers that can do things for you. We have tight ends that can do things for you that you don't have to do much in your first year or two. And it's now this offensive scheme, I'm not really sure exactly if it's set up for him. And it kind of remains to be seen whether or not Callahan tries to go after somebody different in the draft, but that's down the road.
You mentioned all the weapons they have.
Mm-hmm.
And I've mentioned every coach wants to end a drive with a kick.
Yep.
Hey, let's not forget special teams weapon scored 15 of your points.
Yep.
Nick Folk, including a 53-yarder, 5 for 5 on his field goal attempts.
53-yarder and a 52-yarder.
Just don't take a sack and get out of range. Just manage it. Yeah. If it's 3rd and 8 and you're at the 32, don't take a sack and put him out of field goal range. Just throw it away.
Yeah, sometimes it's okay to just throw it away.
Kick. Let Nick kick.
Dadgum. Guy's like 102.
It's like the
52
yards.
yards.
The first time in 8 years that they've scored over 30, and it didn't even feel like that. It was kind of a fake 30 when they're running the clock out, and
right.
Garbage Pollard runs to the end zone. So
right.
A win is a win. Take it. I wish the Jags had it, but there are some questions. There are a lot of questions with what this team is doing. Is it a good week for the bye? Probably not. Probably too early.
Probably not good that there's this pseudo controversy either. I mean, we'll have to just kind of wait and see what happens there with that. But I mean, the good news is, once again, they're in the AFC South. And there's always going to be opportunities to make something happen there.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we mentioned it in the intro. I can't believe that we're talking about Coach Peterson getting dunked out on. I mean, dadgum, just absolutely giving him his papers and walking is what they're talking about. They hate him. What happened? I thought they loved the guy. Super Bowl winner.
Look, he came to the Jaguars at the right time because someone mature had to come in there and clean up the mess that Urban Meyer made. Now what happens is you have the expectations of once in a generation quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, and then when you see regression, you don't want to blame the quarterback. You're going to look for anyone else to blame, the GM, the offensive coordinator, the head coach. Their heads will roll first before the quarterback himself. But be careful. Be careful what you wish for, Duval.
I will second that. Be careful, because at some point, I think you might realize that, only blaming the coach can only go so far whenever you got a quarterback who hadn't really fucking done anything.
If we need to do a Jags podcast, we can, but this is Talking Titans.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but just touching on that. So a lot of shit stirring down there in
They got
Duval.
close. All right. They got close to beating the Texans. They were leading the Texans with 18 seconds to go, and their beat up defense gave it up. The Indianapolis Colts, they're kind of beat up now with Jonathan Taylor's injured. Anthony Richardson may or may not play. Joe Flacco comes in and saves the day. They clearly look like a better quarterback team with Flacco.
And here we go. Like, you just mentioned 3 teams in the AFC South. We're going to do a vibe check here. Vibe check real quick, guys. Tennessee Titans, vibes not great right now. Low vibes. Duval down there with the Jaguars, super low. Sounds to me like maybe in Indianapolis, they're kind of like this, right?
But what the boys call mid?
They're kind of mid. Like we don't know whether or not to be excited because of Joe Flacco, or is this like, nah, man, that's flash in the pan.
Colts are mid.
Then there's the Houston Texans.
Houston's fat and happy, man. They're like, we get to play our football season with these 3 jokers.
Yeah.
They're fat and happy.
Making it easy for them.
And they're really
vibes are high in Houston. High vibes.
The games, I'm telling you, the Texans have not played that well yet. They could have just as easily been 1-3.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair enough. But again, another example of a quarterback just doing what he can do.
CJ Stroud looked good.
CJ Stroud has looked good since he got to the NFL. I really wish that the Titans would have done more to try to get him, but that's a whole nother ball of wax.
But Bryce Young's the number 1 pick. Way to go, Carolina.
Yeah. Old Andy Dalton.
Who knew we'd mention the Panthers on the Talking Titans?
I mean, daggum. Well, moving forward, not a game to preview.
No game this week. I think they come back with the Colts.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Are we going to have Levis versus Flacco? Or are we going to have Levis versus Richardson? Are we going to have Rudy? Is Rudy going to be going against Flacco? Is Rudy going to be going against Richardson? I mean, what kind of combination here are we going to have with the backup quarterbacks and the starting quarterbacks? This could just be an absolute circus, a 3-ring circus.
I'm here for it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And we're here for you every week talking Titans. Down in those comments, tell us what you think about the state of the Tennessee Titans right now. Vibes are not great right now. We can all admit to that. We'll have to see here what it is that we're going to be doing moving forward at the quarterback position. I don't know if Mason Rudolph is the guy, but at some point we can't just let Newberry's point. Maybe we can just let Will Levis go out there and throw 45 interceptions. Why not?
Just drive it into the dirt.
Absolutely. Well,
I'm ready to do some picks.
Let's do some picks before we go.
All right. These are my NFL Week 5 picks heading into the Week 5 and 7 after going 0-3 last week. Yikes. Very close on some of those picks, but we're going to begin in Jacksonville, Florida. The Indianapolis Colts visit the Jaguars, and Blake, the Jaguars are a 2.5-point favorite. Why in the world are the Jaguars a favorite against anybody? I'll tell you why. The Colts haven't won there since 2014. Is it going to be Richardson? Is it going to be Flacco? I think I'd rather see Richardson just for Jaguar purposes because Flacco can just pick them apart. He did it to the Jaguars last year. He would pick them apart. It's desperation time in Duval. Trevor Lawrence, 729 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 pick on the year. We need more production, but with that desperation and with the trends of the Colts not winning in Duval, I'm giving this one Jacksonville -2.5. They got to win now before they go to London. In game number 2, we got the Baltimore Ravens at Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are a 3-point underdog. The Ravens are fat and happy. After absolutely destroying the Buffalo Bills, the Bengals got their first win. Maybe a little Mr. Momentum. I think they'll keep the air attack going, and they're going to cover the +3. They may beat the fat and happy Ravens just outright. Give me Cincinnati +3. And last, brother, this one's for you. The Las Vegas Raiders. Gardner Minshew making a visit to the Denver Broncos. Whew. After beating both the Bucs and the Jets on the road, I'm still not buying rookie quarterback Bo Nix, who has 660 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 picks. I'm looking for Minshew to hook up with a rookie tight end Brock Bowers. Keep this one close. Maybe even pull out the victory because I think the Raiders should be the better team. Give me the Raiders +3.
All right. Whole lot of business right there for all you degenerate gamblers out there. Let's make some money. You and Brad make some money here. You know what? Maybe we ought to make a little dudes discussing sports account there and throw some money down. Put our money where our mouth is.
Whenever we get Parker's picks back.
Yeah, hey,
Parker,
that's what I'm talking about.
Whenever we get the man.
Yep.
Two-tone blue back.
Yep.
We'll get the bank account.
Can't wait to see that big bald head again.
He'll be
big
back.
long beard. That'd be great.
He's doing great, everybody. Don't worry.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be back before you know it. Again, guys, let us know what you're going to be watching this weekend in the NFL, around the AFC South in particular. What's your opinion on Duval? What's your opinion on the Titans? How are we going to navigate the rest of this year? What are your picks for this weekend? What's your lock? What is your lock? Put it down in the comments on your way out. Hit that like and subscribe button on your way out as well. Become a dude today. Really appreciate you dudes discussing sports. Out.